Okay.
So it's time to start installing the coilovers. I've already started. Well, not necessarily already, but anyway, I started with the coilovers already. Well, not already, but just lifting the car, loosening up the wheel, and then I'm just gonna finish that process up, and then I'll bring you guys closer to this area because my phone's gonna die and I'm using it for recording. But I'll keep you guys around like this area while it charges, and yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty much it. Oh, and I finally got an intake. There it is. It's nice, nice, nice. Goes on there. Comes out on here. Oh, there, intake. When you guys are installing the Mazda 6 coilovers for the Raceland, you specifically want to take off this bolt, which looks like this, and it goes in through here and here. Right now they're off because I'm taking off the fork. And then you want to take off that nut that's right here, right there, which would be this one, and that will drill, or that would go in right there. Where is it? There we go. And the sway bar is what a pain in the ass was for me. So what I did was just grab, use the grips, the vice grips or whatever they're called, to hold it from behind, because there's like a little notch in the back, and then just torque these off with a 14 millimeter. But this one was stripped out, and I tried to take this one off specifically, but they just stripped even more. So I just took off the bottom end link one, and then that's pretty much it. Then after that, you can take off the fork right there, like that. Kind of have to persuade it out. Let me put the camera down, that's easier. Alright, so you have to take off this fork. I'm not sure what's the easiest way to take this off exactly, because there we go. Okay. So what I would do is just put that fork that we took off from up here, just put it back there so that you don't have to try to get it on the new suspension later on and have a hard time. So just put it there, and that way you can just wiggle it back in here. And then to take off the coil or the suspension, just hold it from here, have it loose already, take off the 3 bolts in the top, just drop it like that, and there it is. Next, what you want to do is just get suspension and get yourself some of these, the compression kit for the suspension. And then with these, you can just wiggle this to your size that you would want, and then place one like so. So place the top one like that, and then these are to lock it in place. And then the next one, just place it wherever it fits. In my case, right there. And lock that one. And then you just use an impact to drill these together. Well, if And then this is gonna be for my specific compressor, spring compressor kit thing. Is gonna be a 3/14. You guys can see that. And then I'm just gonna use my impact. This is hard. You just use the impact just to get it tightened. Don't tighten them all the way right now. At the moment, just snug it up, basically. Well, that failed. But just to be safe, just always do it like that. Hold it with your foot or something, and then there we go. This is gonna shoot out, so that's why you need to put it on the ground. That way it doesn't hit nobody, it doesn't hit anything important, doesn't get damaged, you know, because this is part of your suspension. And if you really want to, or you want to sell the car in the future or something, and you want to keep your coilovers, keep these around in good condition. Suspension in, yeah, and then so all you have to do is just take this off, this rubber piece off, and then this will come off. This dust cover, you can put this back on here, like so, and then you just need this. So then, I haven't had time to look at it yet. Take off the nut from the top. And then this little, you can see like a little pattern in there that will line up with this. So you can kind of like twist it until like, if you twist it to the right, it'll kind of like grab. You'll feel it like not want to go. That's where it has to be. Once it starts like stopping, that's where it has to go. And then you put the top on, and then you put this top on. And if you really want to, you can use the compression kit again. I wouldn't recommend it because these are pretty soft springs to begin with. I would just have somebody here to help you, because this can scratch the coil, and I don't know how whatchamacallit, like happy people would be with that. Oh, but first off, before you do any of this, I would recommend you guys to take everything apart so that way nothing falls off. I would recommend you guys to take your coil and adjust the height to what you prefer it to be. So in this case, since it's gonna be hard to put the coil on, I would put it to almost to the minimum level, and then I would put on the spring. That way it's just a lot easier to put it on, especially if you're alone. And then you can just do this, do that. Do that. Find your... So there's your new coil. there, all set up nice and pretty. So once you got it there, all you're gonna want to do is just put this back on the car. Alright, so at this point I'm just gonna put the coilover back on, or the suspension or whatever, and then after that we'll go back and then adjust the suspension. So this part has to be facing back and a little bit to the angle, like towards this area right here. So make sure that's facing that way. And again, this is a lot easier if you have somebody help you. You can get your keys, and I would recommend measuring from probably this line, this weld line, to the bottom of one of the things. But yeah, these are not like other coilovers where you can just spin the shock to raise it. This one you actually have to use the wheel or the end up everything on this side. That's how the coilover looks on any side of the front. But yeah, just make sure everything's tightened up, especially these. And that's pretty much it for that, and we'll get started with the back. What you're gonna want to do is take off this bolt right here, right under the brake, that bolt, and then once you have that loose, you can take off this one for this, and then take off the bolts. There's 3 bolts up here. I don't know if you can see them. One right here, the other one back there somewhere, and then the other one on the opposite side right there, that one. So once you get those off, you can get the shock out, and then you can push this down with somebody stepping on it or something, and then you can get the spring out. So I'm just gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and yeah. We're able to get just the shock out. We're having trouble with the spring, but
yeah, it's ready 12.
It's already 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so just for the shocks portion, what is this? 15. Ouch. So for the shock half of the install, you guys are gonna want to make sure that this. So this is kind of a hard thing to take out from inside of there. You kind of have to move it all retarded and really stressful. I would recommend you bend this downward like so while it's inside the car, so that it's out of the way and out of getting caught. That's what I had to do. And then there we go. And then make sure that this is on the same angle when you bolt it onto the new coilover or shock. And it's dead. But yeah. Let's see if this works.
Why can't you get a smaller one?
A smaller what?
Instead of having the big one?
Because more leverage. I just told you. just take this off, and then make sure you guys don't lose these little like washers that are right there when you put these back in. And for the boot, I don't know about you guys, like if anybody else is doing the coilover install for this car, but for mine, well, we have to take apart a bunch of stuff. Just make sure you guys don't lose anything. But yeah, if you guys are doing this install, I would highly recommend that not only do you get somebody to help you, but that you have like really heavy tools, because they're just gonna break if they're not that heavy. But anyway, so we're gonna finish this right now, and then once we get that done, I'll just show you guys how it looks with the strut or the shock on and the base alarm or whatever. And it should, when you're taking off the stock spring, you should be able to just step on this right here, and this should go low enough so that you can take out the spring. In my case, it wasn't low enough, so I had to take off the sway bar back there. But I mean, it's a super easy install and removal. Remover. But yeah, it's pretty easy, so I would recommend it, just so that you guys don't have to, whoever's doing this to their car or something similar to this setup, they don't have to, you guys don't have to struggle so much like trying to step on this, especially if you're alone like I am. It's just a lot easier, instead of trying to step on this or put pressure downward on this and then take out the spring at the same time. It's just a mess. So highly recommend it. So I'm gonna go on a time lapse now, but what I'm gonna do, just to explain it so that it's kind of you know, like easy to understand. Tighten that back bolt, put the bolt into the sway bar and tighten that up. And then, so this is what I was talking about before. This is I don't know, like the screw thing that gives your car the right height. That's just gonna go like this in there, like so. So just like that. But first, and then once you have that in, like all the way up, then you put in the spring, and then you tighten it, and then you put this side up. And it's pretty self-explanatory. I don't know if I covered this in the last clip, but there's 3 bolts up there holding a bracket, holding the top mount for the shock, and then 1 screw down there, that one right there, and that just holds in the bottom of the shock. And this is kind of a hard process. You kind of like, it's easy to get the bolts out, but trying to get the shock itself in and out is really hard. So just be ready for that. But yeah, let's just go on to the time lapse. Struggled with this car so much. I'm sorry I didn't really cover the back rear end too well. I tried doing my best, but don't worry, this is not the only coilovers we'll ever do in this channel. So there'll be more in-depth videos in the future, and maybe, I don't know, I'll redo this eventually, because I would like to do bags. But so far, what you guys missed out since, well, between cuts, I guess, is, so this control arm, yeah, the bushing, so it has a metal piece like that inside the bushing, and that literally was welded, well, not welded, but like almost welded tight to the bolt, not this one, another one from that side, and it didn't let the bolt come out from right there where the bolt's pointing. So we ended up having to, we tried everything, from impact to crowbar. We even tried a fork and broke it trying with it, or whatever, cucumber, whatever you guys call that. But yeah, so that was the problem for that side, and I just got mad, and I tried heating the bolt, because I know when you heat bolts they expand and they get smaller or wider, and then usually comes out right away. That wasn't the case here. So that melted off, and then it still didn't come out. So what I just went ahead and did was just cut it off. I literally cut the bolt off. Here's the top of it. There we go. Yeah, it's destroyed trying to get it out. Sorry, I'm kind of shaky. I was just doing a lot of force, and it makes me shaky when I do a lot of force. But anyway, so that's trash. I went to the Mazda dealer and I picked up a brand new control arm with brand new bushings and brand new bolts. Brand new 1 bolt, that green one back there, but the nut is still the same one. And this bolt is brand new to the car, but not brand new from factory, because I just got it off of the junkyard. But yeah, and then I got some spacers for the back. I painted my lug nuts turquoise. I'm gonna repaint the calipers because they're kind of rusting a little bit. Come on, focus. So they're kind of rusting. You can see it right there. And then we got new wheels for the car. So these are 18-inch rims. I forgot the exact specs. I know one of these rims has it. Alright, they're right there. 18 by 8. And then yeah, that's pretty much it. They're the same color almost as the rims I had before on this. Right now I'm going back to stock just to sell these if these are still available. These are my old rims. They used to look like that. That one's not painted yet, but I'm redoing them, fixing all the scratches and dents and stuff, and then that's the finished product. But yeah, we're like 3 inches lower in the front. I'll see about the back. And then, but cleaned up the bay a little bit just because it was really muddy and dirty. But yeah, so there's that. We got that nice cold air intake coming down here under the light, and it's an intake by, I bought it from Spectre. They're pretty good. All dirty already, damn. And I haven't even driven the car a lot with this on. But yeah, so far that gets wet, and so there's like vents right here for, I don't know, whatever reason, and that gets wet when I'm driving. So what I'm gonna do is buy a piece of sheet metal, cut it with like the sheet metal scissors and stuff, and then make a box around it that clamps onto here, and that's pretty much it. I'll probably do a separate video on that, or if not, then I'll just show you next video. But yeah, let's get back to the video on the coilovers, because it's been 3 weeks since the last clip of the front, and when we started the back, and 3 weeks later we're finally doing the rear. The car on the ground, and it's pretty low. It's not even all the way low yet. Like, that's like the stock height it comes with, and it's really low. Yeah, I'm gonna have to raise it maybe, but for now at least it's a good height, I think. I just need to roll my fenders eventually, because this edge is gonna cut into my wheel. Like, my finger barely fits through here, so I'm gonna raise it a couple inches. But yeah, that's how you guys install coilovers on a Mazda 6. Hope you guys enjoyed. Sorry for the like mix up between videos and like change in like setting and stuff like that. My car got quite a bit of camber now. It looks pretty cool. But let me see this side. Oh, that side even has worse. But yeah, just like and subscribe if you like what you see. Show the support, you know. And for more content, just like hit us up on or comment down below what you guys would like to see in the channel in the future, or just like what's cool to do, because I'm running out of ideas on what to do to this car. Obviously I want to go turbo, but I'm only 17, almost 18, and I don't have the money for that right now, but eventually. But till next time, and keep it Boost Squad. Peace.